I'm here. We're about to speak to Rachel Bulman. She's a wife, mom, Catholic speaker, and musician. Thanks so much for joining us, Rachel.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Now, we're going to be talking about your ministry, but first, tell me about your journey into the Catholic Church.
So I grew up Protestant. I was adopted by missionaries when I was 2 weeks old from the Philippines. And I grew up very devoutly Christian in that. That's probably where I learned really to sing and to learn any kind of musicianship, was from that exposure. And I had started dating my husband, and I love him very much. And I knew very early on that there was something special about him and his family. And I think one of the first times that someone actually approached me about, this new guy that I was dating, they asked me, is he Catholic or is he, they said, is he a Christian? I said, yes. And I asked the person that had asked me, I said, what about the guy that you're dating? Is he Christian? And she said, no, he's Catholic. So I had never heard that before. I'd never heard that there was this dichotomy that existed between being Christian and being Catholic. And so it kind of catapulted me on this road of trying to discover really what the truth was. And lo and behold, it took me a couple of years. It took me secretly going to RCIA. I hid it from my husband for a while because I didn't want him to think that I was doing it for him.
Right.
And I didn't want anybody else to have that same notion. So eventually all roads lead to Rome. So here I am. So 2008 was when I came into communion with the church.
Oh, that's great. Thank you and welcome. We're so glad that you joined us. And speaking of your husband, you co-host a podcast with him about truth and beauty. You're active on social media all over the place. So tell me, about what are some of the blessings and the challenges of all that kind of outreach?
Right. So the blessings, I think I probably don't even know all of them yet, but I think that just the ability to have an expansive amount of people that you get to meet, and then the opportunities for friendship are so great. People from all different walks, people from all different rites in the Catholic Church, people that aren't Catholic that are still even more open to discussing their faith and discussing their beliefs with you is really beautiful. So the opportunity for evangelization is really great there, as well as friendship. But then the caveat to that is that there's always this temptation to present something that's inauthentic online and to live a life that is inauthentic, And so I think for us, it's trying to make sure that we temper all of that with prayer. And we temper that really with understanding who we are, understanding this value of authenticity that really speaks to a God who is truly authentic. And then realizing that every keyboard becomes very powerful, but it also has a person behind it. Oh. And that person is a child of God. And there's really no other way for you to care for the person that's operating all of these keyboards than to care for them as someone who is made in the image and likeness of God, just like you are. Yeah. And it's just a very powerful tool, but can be very tempting. So it has to be very tempered by the gift of the church and the gift of the knowledge that the church has given us and the value and the beauty of each person.
That's so beautifully put, Rachel. I appreciate that because, sometimes, particularly when you're engaging in maybe a challenging conversation with someone, it's hard to remember that they too are a child of God and made in the image of God. So I love the way you put that. So you did mention that you love to focus on truth and beauty on the podcast and certainly in your Word and Fire post. Is that, I noticed that you do some speaking engagements. Is that also kind of the main focus of your speaking engagements?
Yes, I think on a broad sense, it's definitely focused on truth and beauty. I think if I had to hone in on what that would look like for speaking engagements, it's really speaking to the truth that God offers through the church, the truth of who you are, created in his image and likeness, the healing that's offered and realizing the authentic beauty that is already present in the human person, that sometimes just has to be drawn out. The world has given us a lot of things to distract us, and the world has given many opportunities for woundedness. A lot of people just walk around with wounds that you're not even really aware of. And so coming in contact with something as authentic as an encounter with God really gives us the ability to see there's something in me that's crying out for that, something in me that's crying out for truth and beauty and goodness. And I think for me in speaking engagements is to be able to uncover the fact that all of that actually lies within you because of innately who you are in his image. So
Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you. I know that you've had some great posts. I follow you on Word on Fire and on your website, and saddened to learn of the loss of baby Carol through miscarriage. So we're praying for you and your family as you mourn baby Carol. But along those lines, where can people follow your work and just stay on top of all the different things that you're doing and sharing?
Well, all of my handles are all the same. So for Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, it's all just Rachel Bulman. And then my website, rachelbulman.com, they can keep up there. And Word on Fire is so gracious to allow me to write with them. And so they post those blogs when they're available as well.
That's great. rachelbulman.com. Thanks so much for being with us, Rachel. I truly appreciate it. Take care.
Thank you so much.
God bless.